Hello everyone, welcome to Footy Week Podcast, EPL Review, Game Week 28, Episode 8. Football is so sweet. Football is so lovely. When you're on the winning side, football is what you crave for. But when you're on the losing side, you just have to take it. You just have to take your loss or take your defeat in calmness and in good mind. It was a weekend where unbeaten run of Liverpool was snatched. Liverpool capitulated at Vicarage Road. It was a weekend where Tottenham lost at home to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Who saw that coming? It was a weekend where Everton stopped the moving train of Manchester United and held them down to a 1-1 goal apiece showdown. My name is Ahis Anthony. I'm riding solo. My co-host staying here, but the show has to move on. Whoa! Football. Crazy. Let me just go straight into the scores on the results of Game Week 28. Some teams played, some teams didn't play because they had a competition where they had to feature in. So, starting from Saturday, Brighton and Hove Albion lost to Crystal Palace. That was a derby. Crazy goal by Andre Ayew. AFC Bournemounth shared the spoils with Chelsea. The topsy-turvy form this season. But the most annoying thing or the most funniest thing about it is they're still holding on to that fourth position. Crazy, isn't it? Newcastle United drew with Burnley at home 0-0. West Ham United smacked and defeated Southampton FC 3-1. Watford defeated Liverpool 3-0. We're still going to come into that. And Everton Manchester United shared the spoils at Goodison Park 1-1. Tottenham Hotspur lost to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Jose Mourinho, like I said before, I think he has lost his Midas touch. But we're just going to come back straight up after this. Hold on.
This is Delafeu. Lovely step. Oh, there's a chance. Abdoulaye Doucouré helps it back in. Lovren and Deeney tussling for the ball, and Deeney goes up after it, and Alisson's lost it, and Deeney should score, and Deeney won't score because Virgil van Dijk makes sure of it. Here's Pereira, the substitute, and it's on for Ismail Sarr. Well, it takes something to beat the best in the business. That's for Robertson. Saved by the goalkeeper. It comes to Robertson again. And Salah jumps and tries to get through a crowd of players. And Watford survive. That's Doucouré. And it's Sarr! Well, it's redemption for Ismail Sarr. And Sarr is away. And this is a big moment. It's 2 for Watford. It's 2 for Ismail Sarr. This is Lallana. Decent effort. Just wouldn't come round for Adam Lallana. Oh, that's short. And Sarr is on a hat-trick, remember. Deeney. That's it now. It's a rare Alexander-Arnold error.
Welcome back to Footy Week Podcast. # we love football. Ismail Sarr. Troy Deeney. Whoa. Troy Deeney tweeted, Cohenus 3, Liverpool 0. Was that not an outstanding performance by Watford? They brought Liverpool's unbeaten run to an end. It was a bitter taste for Jurgen Klopp to swallow because he never saw this coming. Even the Liverpool team never saw this coming. But as football fans, like we analysed previously on our podcast, we saw it coming, we saw the signs coming. At Carrow Road, they struggled against Norwich City. It took Mane to come in as a substitute to come give Liverpool the goal. Norwich should have done the needful, but they failed to score. We saw how they struggled. Now, fast forward, they went on to another competition, the Champions League, against Atletico Madrid. We saw Atletico Madrid stifled Liverpool, giving Liverpool just one shot at goal, and winning that match against Liverpool in the first leg of the Champions League. The next game was against West Ham United at the Anfield. Fabianski, as Arsenal fans will say, gave Liverpool, due to the costly error that he made, gave Liverpool their win, a scrapper win. Now, against Watford, a game when nobody could have ever predicted that Watford was going to annihilate Liverpool by scoring 3 goals and Liverpool failing to score. Nobody could have predicted that. But that's the surprising thing, and that's the loving thing about football. Football have a way of bringing out something spectacular. Ismail Sarr, an outstanding performance in that game. He outshined his fellow Senegalese, Sadio Mane. Sadio Mane wasn't in that game. We didn't see Firmino. We didn't see Salah. It was Watford all the way. Troy Deeney bullied Lovren. He said he had to bully one of the central defenders. He couldn't do that to Van Dijk. But Lovren, with all due respect, quoting Troy Deeney, said with all due respect to Lovren, that he had to just bully somebody. And Lovren had to be bullied. Lovren came in as a late replacement for Gomez because Gomez wasn't fit for that match. But yes, Liverpool unbeaten run has come to an end. Arsenal fans, where are you? Where are you? It's a painful thing to be saying here because Arsenal fans have been so praying that their coveted unbeaten 49 unbeaten run should not be equaled or surpassed. Liverpool came close. Liverpool were breathing down the neck of Arsenal fans. You know, that's the only thing Arsenal has to hold. Come on. Twitter was ablaze on Saturday with the up and down yannings, with the up and down banterings between Arsenal fans and Liverpool fans. But we'll stick to the Premier League review. We're not going to go into Champions League because this ain't Champions League. But how do we see Liverpool? Yeah, for me, they rank around, or we can see them. They are among the greats in terms of this unbeaten record that has been set. Preston had theirs in the 800s. Nobody was alive then. Arsenal came in the 2000 millennium. They went 49 games unbeaten. They won the golden EPL trophy. But the most interesting thing about Arsenal's unbeaten run was because they won a trophy. I'm not saying Liverpool is not going to win this trophy this season. No. Football fans, try to understand me. Arsenal went the entire season unbeaten, unscathed, losing none to nobody. They won 26 and they drew 12 games. The unbeaten started 2002-2003 season, like 4 games to the end of that season. That was when Arsenal's unbeaten run started. And they took it into the 2003-2004 season. They went the entire season unbeaten. Took it into the next season, which is 2004-2005 season, when Mourinho joined Chelsea, took over the reins as Chelsea's coach. Arsenal went like they went like 9 games or 8 games thereabout in the beginning of that season. Not until they went to Old Trafford, that was where the unbeaten run was snatched and was broken by Manchester United. The late goal by Wayne Rooney saw that Arsenal lost that match. Some would say that if VAR were to be in existence, then that Wayne Rooney's goal wouldn't have stood, but who cares? Manchester United crushed and stopped Arsenal unbeaten, and ever since then, Arsenal has been, I don't want to complete that. So, Liverpool outstanding run, going back to 2018-2019 season has been outstanding. The last time they lost to Manchester City, they've gone all the way unbeaten up until their game on Saturday against Liverpool. I'm sure it would have been a weird feeling to Jurgen Klopp because it's been a while. He coached a Liverpool team that couldn't score and that lost. The only time they had a bleep in this season was when they went to Old Trafford and they drew that match 2-2. But the most interesting thing is Liverpool, the record they've set, they're joint with Manchester City's landmark record, going 18 straight matches in a season without losing, winning 18 straight matches. A victory for them on Saturday would have made them surpass Liverpool's record, which could have taken them to 19 straight wins. But it was just so bad and so bad for them. But looking at Liverpool's record, it's been outstanding. Out of the 44 matches that they've gone unbeaten, they've won 39 at a rate of 2.77 points per game. Wow, that's outstanding. And Liverpool, they've gone ahead to score 104 goals in this 44 unbeaten run, leaving Mane to be the highest goal scorer with 27 goals, followed by Mohamed Salah 24, followed by Firmino 12. And the rest goes to the Liverpool team. For me, where does this breaking unbeaten run leaves Liverpool? They're still champions, undoubtedly. 22 points ahead of Manchester City with 10 games to go. It's going to take a miracle for Manchester City to win that league, or to win the league for this season, except if Liverpool goes the entire 10th season losing it, which is not possible. So where does this leave Liverpool? Liverpool, even with that, they still have other records to break. Excuse me. They still have other records to break, because winning the remaining games of the season will see them finishing with 107 points and an average of 2.82 points per game, the most points in the top flight campaign in Europe. Celtic did it in 2016-2017. They ended that season with 106 points. So if Liverpool goes throughout till the end of the season, winning the remaining 10 games, they'll finish with 107 accumulated points. Wow. Well, come the end of the season, they'll be crowned champions. And that game could see where they'll be crowned champions. We could see that game, like I mentioned before in our previous podcast, it could be at the Etihad Stadium if they tend to win Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. So the logic or the maths in here is, if Manchester City go ahead to win their next straight 4 matches, and Liverpool also goes to win their next straight 4 matches, so the 5th match to Liverpool is against Manchester City, and the 5th match of Man City is against Liverpool at the Etihad Stadium. Liverpool wins that, they will be crowned champions. And guess what, Arsenal fans, you've been celebrating. You will tend to give or do the guard of honor to Liverpool when they come to Emirates to play you. By then they will be crowned champions, but you have to do that guard of honor. So moving on straight, looking at the game, Watford, Liverpool. Like I said earlier before, it's been a while Jurgen Klopp felt like this, or the entire Liverpool felt this way, playing an entire 90 minutes, except Napoli in the Champions League this season, except Atletico Madrid, the game to Napoli and game to Atletico Madrid, where they played without scoring. But I'm talking about the Premiership. It's been a while where they've played a game without scoring and also losing. Positives for Watford, because it brought them out of the relegation zone. They were down there, so right now it brought them out of the relegation zone, and now they're fighting their way out of the relegation zone. I think they have 27 points right now, which could see them, it could really be a form of like the win to Liverpool could really help them in the fight for relegation, because having to beat the champion, why wouldn't you dare to beat other teams? So that left that game, Ismail Sarr scoring 2 goals and assisting Troydini for the 3rd goal was quite impressive. So moving on to the next game. The game that I would like to preview, because I would just like to run through the games, having to be the only one around for this podcast. Chelsea, what a performance by Bournemouth. They went behind, came back, went ahead, and all of a sudden decided to sit back to draw that match. Quite a couple of goals for Mykah Alonso. That has been a good form. In 2 matches now, he has scored 3 goals. It was impressive for Chelsea, but the most funniest thing and the most surprising thing is Chelsea are still holding on to that 4th position. Despite their topsy-turvy form, win today, lose tomorrow, draw today, win tomorrow, they are still holding on to that 4th position. But it's really not far off, because Wolverhampton, going straight into the next match. Well, that match, for the sake of the scores of the Bournemouth Chelsea, Mykah Alonso scored the 2 goals for Chelsea, and Lamar and Josh King scored for Bournemouth. So moving on to Wolverhampton Wanderers against Tottenham. Tottenham Hotspur lost to Wolverhampton Wanderers at home. The funny thing about Wolverhampton Wanderers is they have been so spectacular this season. They have nicked 21 points out of a losing position. When they will be losing, they will come back to nick a win or nick a draw. And guess what? The coach don't tend to give him this credit. No. Oh, his name skipped his mind. His name has skipped my mind right now. Lovely performance by Jimenez, Traore, Jota, scoring goals. He has scored in his scored in the Europa League. Now he's scoring. Where does this leave Tottenham Hotspur? I said in the previous podcast that my co-hosts were kind of like, they disagreed with my point of view, but the truth is, the fear factor Jose Mourinho brings to the fore isn't there anymore, compared to while he was at Chelsea, when he left, went to Inter Milan, went to Real Madrid, came back to Chelsea. Now I feel Mourinho has lost that Midas touch. We knew Mourinho, when he sets up, it's difficult for you to score him. It's difficult for you to score his team. But right now, scoring Tottenham is foreign. Tottenham has just been wrecking in a couple of goals, like number of goals. For me, yeah, he didn't start the season with Tottenham. He took over a team from the guy that left, Pochettino. Took over. Yeah, you could come up with different excuses. He doesn't have Harry Kane. Harry Kane is injured. Heung-min Son too is injured. But it's there for all to see. I would want my fans, I would want us, the listeners of the podcast, you could drop a comment in this podcast while we put it on our YouTube channel. We'd like to hear a review or comments from you about Mourinho. Do you see Mourinho still having that fear factor? Do you see Mourinho still having that Midas touch, taking a team and making it difficult for the team to score Mourinho? Does he still have that edge, that Mourinho we used to know in the past? Does Mourinho still have or still has that edge, still has that intimidating factor, that when Mourinho brings in a team, it will be difficult for you to play them? It's surprising that Wolverhampton Wanderers beat them at home today. It was outstanding. The 3rd goal from Jimenez, whew, what a coiler. What a goal! What a goal he scored in that match. With that, it leaves Wolverhampton Wanderers just overtook Tottenham Hotspur from that 6th position. They're now 42 points, 2 points ahead of Tottenham Hotspur, and guess what? 3 points behind Chelsea. So any any misbehavior from Chelsea could see them get knocked off from that 4th position. Like I said in our previous podcast, the race to that 4th, because the 5th position right now is a golden one. It's for grabs due to the ban method to Manchester City, because they won't be qualifying for Champions League. So that 5th position is like a golden position for the qualification for the Champions League. And it's going to be a race. Chelsea, Manchester United, Wolves, Tottenham, Sheffield United, Burnley and Arsenal. The reason I'm including Sheffield United, Burnley and Arsenal, because looking at the points that separates Arsenal from Chelsea, that if they win their game at hand, it's just 5 points with 10 matches to go. Anything, like they say, anything could happen. Now moving on to this next match, Everton versus Manchester United. Manchester United have been in a good form of late. Bruno Fernandes' impact, we saw what he did today again. He scored the equalizer for Manchester City. Everton went up 3 minutes into the game by Calvert-Lewin. That guy just keeps scoring. And Bruno Fernandes at the 31st minute equalized for Manchester United. A couple of controversial moments in that match, or just a controversial moment. The goal for Everton, I beg your pardon, that was ruled out by VAR. The question I have is, was Sigurdsson blocking or obstructing De Gea from seeing the ball coming into the box? He didn't interfere with the play. But come on, who am I? What do I know? The VAR referees know better than I. So we just have to stick to the decision being made. But that match saw Everton and Manchester United sharing the spoils, and Manchester United gaining momentum. They are now 3 points, tied with Wolverhampton Wanderers, but ahead of Wolverhampton Wanderers due to goal difference. They're tied with Wolverhampton Wanderers 42 points with 28 games played. Both teams are 3 points behind Chelsea. Wow. Like I said earlier, the 4th position is going to be a race to watch. Ancelotti got angry. He got a red card at the end of that match because he had to confront the referee for that goal that didn't stand. But Manchester United, was it 2 point drop or 1 point gain? For them, they would see it as 2 point drop because due to the form they are in, they could have won that game. But who says 1 point is not good enough? So that leaves us to the roundup for the game week 28 review. Like we do on Footweek podcast, we just look at the top six of last season. And so we've seen Bournemouth against Chelsea. So we saw Wolverhampton Wanderers winning Tottenham also in their new stadium. And we saw Watford defeating Liverpool. And we saw Bournemouth join with Chelsea. So Manchester City didn't have to play this weekend because they had to play the Carabao Cup final. Sheffield United didn't also play. Arsenal as well didn't also play because they have to play the FA Cup. And looking at the Premiership table right now, Liverpool with 79 points, followed by Manchester City 57 points, followed by Leicester City in 3rd position 50 points, Chelsea 45 points, Manchester United and Wolverhampton Wanderers tied at 42. Tottenham Hotspur bumped down to 7th position on 40 points, tied with Sheffield United, who have a game at hand or so, 40 points, followed by Burnley and followed by Arsenal. Looking down the relegation battle, AFC Bournemounth 27 points, tied with Watford and 17 points, in 17th position with 27 points. Aston Villa, they have a game at hand. They had to play the Carabao Cup final, so a win for them in their game at hand will see them leapfrog West Ham United and also Watford. Despite West Ham United win, it's just a point difference from Watford in 17th position. Norwich stays bottom I don't see Norwich surviving this. It's going to be difficult for them. So, like I said, just to intimate our listeners, this is Footy With Podcast. We're on social media platform. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Our Instagram handle is at FootyWit, and our Twitter handle is at Footy_Wit. And also our YouTube channel, you could search for us and subscribe with our name, Footy With Analysis. Whoa, it's been a lonely show having to do this game week 28 review, but my co-hosts, they will be back next week. They will be back to join us. So we have to look at the fixtures for the next coming week. You know, we're in the running right now and it's going down the wire. Liverpool, they're champions already. But the most interesting part is the third, fourth, fifth, sixth positions. The positions for the European place. And also the relegation scrap, the relegation battle is going to be interesting. So we do look at the predictions we made last week, but I will not have to look at that. We just look straight into the fixtures coming next week. Liverpool is at home to AFC Bournemouth. Arsenal play West Ham United. Crystal Palace play against Watford. Sheffield United host Norwich City. Southampton Wanderers host Newcastle United. Wolverhampton Wanderers also host Brighton and Hove Albion. Burnley is at home to Tottenham Hotspur. That will be interesting to watch. Chelsea plays Everton at the Stamford Bridge. And the Manchester Derby, Manchester United host Manchester City. Will Manchester be red or blue? Leicester City will host Aston Villa. So that is the fixture for game week 29 of the EPL review. EPL matches. So we'll be here next week for the Footy With Podcast game week 29 EPL game week 29 review of the English Premier League. It's been lonely doing this podcast. Well, I just want to wish our listeners a fruitful week ahead. Enjoy football, love football, and please ensure you wash your hands, because the fight for coronavirus is real. Coronavirus is real out there. So ensure you take a proper hygiene, wash your hands, no kissing, no hugging, no shaking. It's his Anthony. My Twitter handle is @_HEYHWEES. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and peace.